pretty happy with it. I thought it went really well. And I get, like I said, I don't know what else really to say about it. I guess, we can open it up to questions. I'm thrilled for our talent. They all seemed really happy. Everybody's healthy as best I can tell. The medical team will obviously get back to me. We've got a couple, I think, people in there that are evaluating, but everything looks really good. And considering everything that went on tonight, I think that's fantastic. That's a huge win for us. If you ask me, when you've got this many sort of, what do we call those matches? Stipulation matches? Do we say the G word anymore? Stipulation. Stipulation. Yeah, okay, I've been told we don't use the G word, I guess. So, yeah. I'm so not good at this. I put a tie on and everything today, and I'm so uncomfortable. It's not even funny. But anyway, so yeah, let's just open it up, because again, I'll let you guys take it from here. And once again, this is going to be another one where I say, by all means, I'll take the feedback when everything's said and done. And I'm used to everybody being mean to me, so I'm good with it. Don't worry about it. I could use the help.
All right, so before we go to the phones, we do have two members of the media that are here, so out of courtesy to them being in attendance, we're going to give them the first two questions. We'll start with Dave LaGreca.
First of all, thank you for having us here today. You just said fantastic show, top to bottom. Working with the roster, how closely you have, how proud are you of what you saw tonight?
Well, and so, again, that's where I guess I think the one thing that makes me maybe not as good as people want me to be, but what does make me good is that this talent knows how much I care about them. And I guess that, again, I can't stand, I don't know, I'm very close with them, and I get emotional when I think about it, because they're like my kids. So when I know how much these nights and these premium live events mean to them, and then they go out there, and they put their bodies on the line, they work so hard, we do everything we can to reel them back, but then they look at you with those puppy dog eyes, and then they want to try it, and then they look at me and they say, you did it, and I'm so, again, it's a really, I aged 10 years tonight watching the show. I'm so anxious for so many of them, but I'm so proud of what they did. This is, believe it or not, this is part of the development. You're going to have numerous of these stipulation matches throughout one's career, and a number of people tonight, again, got their sort of first crack at that. And trying to reel in a bunch of 20 to 25-year-olds isn't easy. And again, I make jokes about it, but I feel like every now and then I'm getting paid back, for some of the trials and tribulations I put creative through in years past. And so it only serves me right. But I'm so proud of them. Everybody was healthy. They were all happy. And when they're happy, that means the world to me. And so, look, we gave them a tall order tonight. You had Damon and Julius, and they're two young guys. They're amateur wrestlers, obviously, studs in their own right. But then they come out and they just have this war with one another. And again, it's built around this pretty deep storyline. And so, I don't know. We try to put them in as many, main roster, I guess, situations that we can put them in. And we feel like they're doing really well. And then obviously we'll all go back and they'll go with their coaches. They'll watch over these things, and they'll figure out places where clearly we can learn to get more mileage out of stuff and not maybe do so much violence for violence sake. And that's something that, again, is really tough when you've got a card full of sort of stipulation matches where it's not just one thing after another. But again, they all want to try stuff. And so as long as we feel like they can do it without, injuring themselves or the other person, we certainly want to give them that opportunity. And look, there's always going to be stuff that I can do better. Again, reeling them back in, or, maybe having a different pacing in the show or something like that. But these are all learning tools for all of us. And again, I'm very proud of them. Again, for me, I can tell it right away on the looks on their faces. And when they come back and they're happy, I'm happy. Again, we can all nitpick, but we save that for, Wednesday and Thursday. On Saturday, I want them to enjoy this moment, especially when it's gone well. They went out there and they crossed all those T's and dotted all the I's that they wanted to, and they feel like they got everything down, and they told their story. We take that as a win here.
Yep. Thank you.
And again, and yeah, thank
safety. So thank you for the opportunity.
You bet.
All right, next question will be here in the room from Jay Reddick from the Atlanta Sentinel.
Sean, that main event, that come off like you wanted to? I know the contrast of styles that come into it with Europe and U.S. style and everything else, hard hitting. Was that did that meet or exceed your expectations?
Well, so it exceeded it, but again, I know those guys were going to tear the house down. And so look, Ilya's very special in his own right, but I'm just going to say, JD is one of the most talented young men I've seen in this. I've been a fan of his since we had him in UK, and he has been special from day one. I think he is so good. There isn't anything that a young man can't do. And so as you've got Braun and Ilya, and you need the perfect guy to tie that together, and JD is that guy. And once again, Braun, look, because of his last name, you know what I mean? Everybody, he's supposed to. It's expected of him. It's in his blood. But again, he's been doing it for a year, and he is exceptional. And it really is. It's staggering when you think, how well he's done in such a short time. And again, I'm trying to compare. I was now going back to Texas All-Star Wrestling in about a year. And just trying and getting in, I think, my first main event with Chavo Guerrero, if I remember correctly. And I don't know. And again, to think where he's at a year really is staggering. And I think that's something that, again, and I love this business, that we sometimes lose perspective on how short the time has been that, again, him and the Creeds and, Tony D'Angelo, Cora, and again, when Cora was on the Indies before, yes, for a whole year or 2 years, yes, she's a lightly veteran at 3 years, my goodness. You know what I mean? At 21, her best days are behind her. You know what I mean? The average age of 21 in there with her and Roxanne. And so, again, like I said, I felt like at 5 years I was sort of getting the hang of it. And then, of course, at 10 years, you look back at 5 years and you go, I didn't know anything. And then at 10 years, you think, and then at 15, and that slowly goes on. But they're at a year here at this place. And so I'm so exceptionally proud of all of them. But that match was, I knew those guys were going to tear the house down. But I loved working with, Ilya and JD in UK. And so when we had the opportunity to get those guys over here, there were, no doubt about it, because those guys can go.
All right, so we will go to the phones.
Thank you. If you would like to ask a question, please signal by pressing star 1 on your telephone keypad. If you are using a speakerphone, please make sure your mute function is turned off to allow your signal to reach our equipment. Again, press star 1 to ask a question. We'll take our first question.
One question per outlet, please.
Thank you. And we'll take our first question from Mike Johnson with PW Insider.
Did
I
you not
literally
hang up
just
last call?
No, I literally just dialed in, so that's hilarious. Hi, guys.
That's tremendous.
Really good show tonight.
We don't plan this, just for everybody to know. We don't plan this.
The main event was already asked about by Dave, so I'll ask my number 2 question. We saw a little bit of cinematic difference, the cinematic production with the Haunted House and Alba Fire and Toxic Attraction. I wanted to get Sean's thoughts on that sort of type of presentation for pro wrestling, because it's completely different than anything he ever did during his career. And I also wanted to point out, like, the video packages for the show and in general have been completely different from anything on the main roster. And I wanted to ask, what has it been like kind of trying to put that stuff together, as well as the cinematic stuff, so it differentiates itself from Raw and SmackDown?
Well, that's one of those situations where, again, the team here, obviously, our creative team, and the studio guys in Stamford just do an absolutely fantastic job. But that's people starting at about, 8 o'clock at night and go until 3:45 in the morning. And Mandy and Alba, JC and Gigi, at about, 20 other people? working their tails off in the middle of the night. And look, yeah, it is different than anything I've ever done. But Halloween Havoc, that's not something I see us doing a lot. But at Halloween Havoc, it just feels like it works. And I think everybody understands we do that to a certain point, and then the rest comes into the building. So I don't think that is something that we would do on a regular basis by any chance. But when you have a thematic show like Halloween Havoc, and certainly we've done them in the past, it feels like it's sort of something, I don't know, it feels like it's been an NXT sort of thing while we've been doing Halloween Havoc, and so we just wanted to sort of continue with that idea, and that seemed to be the perfect match to do it with. And so, I guess, like I said, from my standpoint, I tell you what, I would find those very difficult, because I'm so, from a performing standpoint, so in the moment, and then to have to, I don't know, take a totally separate night and go out there and try to get myself where I'm supposed to be on Saturday. I've always, I guess, again, the few times, the few really bad movies I've done, even doing that, I found to be very challenging. I thought that's what was so interesting about that, is just being able to turn that on and off, and not without that crowd out there. And so I'm always very impressed when the talent can pull that off as well as the ladies did.
All right.
And we'll take our next question from Michael Morales with Lucha Libre Online of Puerto Rico.
Greetings, Sean. Hope you're doing well. First of all, congratulations on a great show tonight. That made Live event was incredible to watch. It was perfect. Since WWE is focusing too as well in the international market, do you think there's any kind of possibility that we may see NXT touring outside of the U.S., maybe Latin America, just like Mexico, Puerto Rico, or Chile?
So certainly from an NXT standpoint, obviously we've been getting out on live events here in Florida, and we're certainly looking forward to getting out of Orlando in 2023. So that's obviously something from an NXT standpoint here, getting out for our premium live events. And look, hopefully that means getting out for just live events as well outside of Florida. But that's those are decisions that come from people above me. We certainly want to do it. We're excited to do it. But we're going to start with premium live events and probably see how that goes first. And when it comes to NXT expanding outside of the U.S., certainly NXT Europe is going to be coming in 2023, and I know there's been talks of NXT Japan and NXT, I believe, Mexico, and so and possibly NXT Japan, and those are obviously probably farther down the road, but it's my understanding that those are some announcement that could be coming not too far down the road in 2023. And look, I'll say this, the one thing everybody's excited about, this company never sleeps, and we are constantly trying to grow and expand. And I'm sure, I have no doubt, I can't tell you how I know, but I know a guy that's pretty interested in NXT and its expansion. So I'm sure those things are not far down the road at all.
We'll take our next question from the line of John Alba with Podcast P.
Thanks, Sean. First off, I want to say that the chants of Let's Go Alba are just so appreciated, and it really makes me feel special every time.
Well played. Well played.
Genuinely. But I want to talk about Wesley for a second. You mentioned the video that everyone saw on social media. It was clearly an emotional moment for him. What do you attest his success to in reaching that point? And I'd also like to ask you related to that match without Nathan Frazier, who I think a lot of people saw a breakout performance from in this one.
So when it comes to Wesley, so we have been here with him through every step of his career. I've got to know that young man very well. He's had to deal with some tough stuff, and I have been there every step of the way with him, and he is just one of the nicest young men that I've ever met, and he cares so passionately about this. He's somebody, I guess, he and I get along really well because we're both pretty emotional. It doesn't sound very tough, but I think Wes and I have probably wept with one another more than two guys probably should. But he really appreciated our support and our belief in him. And I guess for some reason, he somehow felt like he didn't deserve it. And I guess that's what shocked me, because I find him to be a very pleasant young man. And I don't know, he losing his friend and all of that hurt him a great deal. And like I said, this job is so much more than the wrestling stuff. And again, I am guilty of getting way too close probably and way too invested in these talent, but I can't stand it when they go through that stuff and they're hurting like that. And so, I don't know, we just wanted to be there for him. And what's resonated is that he's been real with the camera. The camera sees the realness of what Wes went through, and he was bringing who he was to that television. And people picked up on that, and all of it's real. And again, it's one of those things that I get an opportunity with these young men and women. So this business is entertainment, but for us, a lot of those moments are real. Again, when you win a championship, it is the company or someone in that company telling you they believe in you. They think you have something. Here, somebody like Wes Lee knows who it is that believes in him. And so, we spend those moments expressing that to one another. I don't know. That's just something that we, I don't know. I like. I don't know. I'll take the people making fun of me if I have an opportunity to share those moments with them. Again, I just know what they mean. Everybody, and again, I know we're not supposed to say these words. Everybody's marks here, and I don't have a problem with that. And again, that's just something, we all grew up wrestling fans. We all grew up wanting to do this. We all grew up one day wanting to have a title around our waist. And when you have the people in the company tell you that this night is yours, it means a lot to you. And tonight was that night, and I wanted him to enjoy it. And again, like I said, I've had people tell me to enjoy it, and I didn't. So I try to make sure that I really emphasize that I want them to enjoy it, to let it be real, and make the most of the opportunity. And like I said, at least to let them know that, at least for this moment, somebody believed in you and thought you were worthy of the honor that you got. And he's definitely had that tonight.
Thank you. I believe you also asked about Nathan Frazier.
Oh, yeah, and I apologize. I was just saying, on the Nathan Frazier, breakout performance tonight. Nathan has a breakout performance every time he's in there. He's he's another kid, talented. We got an opportunity to get him in UK, and again, he's another one that I was just waiting till the world got normal again, that I could bring him over here and again let the entire universe be able to take in what is Nathan Frazier. The sky's the limit for him. Tonight was one breakout performance, and I can promise you he's a pretty safe bet that we're going to have plenty more out of him. And that's, again, when you've got guys like him and Wes and Oro in there and Mello, again, it's like playing video games, and it's tremendous what those young men can pull off.
All right, folks, we're going to do two more questions and then wrap up for the night.
Am I babbling too long?
No. It's a long day.
And we'll take our next question from the line of Sean Ross Sapp with Fightful.
Hey, Sean, thank you so much. We saw what might be a teaser for the former T-Bar coming back. Like, what process goes into bringing somebody back that has been on Raw or SmackDown? We see that with Apollo Crews. He's had a really good run here, and how are you feeling about that?
Excited. Well, look, so that's one of the things that I guess, so, it's not like we don't see what goes on out there in the social media world and shaking of the fists at different things that were done with different characters over the years, and we do what we can here creatively to kind of, I don't know, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, we see you and we hear you. And so, look, I would love to be able to take credit for that, but I got a pretty good head writer here that, comes up with some pretty snazzy stuff, and Johnny Russo. Got to put you over there, Johnny. But look, that was just something he mentioned, just a quick tease, and I thought, like, that's fantastic. And so, look, I guess I've already given a bunch away, but yeah, look, that's just when you get a talent, that one is very talented. We felt like was just coming into his own here in NXT prior, and then, I guess from our perspective, again, the pandemic and everything happened, and there were a lot of quick changes, and we lost a lot of people. And then over time, they found out that, like, okay, well, we're not maybe sure how we're going to finish the story they're in, and any time they're willing to allow us to have the opportunity to have them back, I don't know, we look at it again, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but we find that as like a fun new toy. I mean, to be able to take guys with that much talent, and I think one of the things that we certainly try to do here, we're certainly going to try to do as much in the future, do our best anyway, to not insult the fans and not pretend like somebody wasn't who they were, a short time ago. But just sort of connect the dots, get you thinking, get you, teasing it and making you feel like what's going to happen. And then, obviously, down the road, we surprise you and you think that it's cool and it works.
And we'll take our next question from the line of Justin Barrasso with Sports Illustrated. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Congrats on a great show. So many positives, which is especially significant as the brand transitions into a new identity. As NXT evolves from the 2.0 era, how does tonight help establish a new identity for the brand?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess, look, I will say this. As I mentioned the other day, the identity thing, look, I struggle with. I don't know, we just want to be NXT. I guess we just want to continue to develop talent, to make them better, to put them in as many different situations as we can, creatively, try to round them out as performers, characters, athletes. And I think every time we do that, every positive show we have, every step in the right direction that we take, those are the positives, and that's the identity. I guess, again, we've talked about this before. I mean, it's always somebody's NXT, and I don't know. I don't want it to be dubbed as mine. Again, it's our talent, and again, the people who enjoy it. I don't know. I just can't tell you any other way than that. I think we're just trying to put one foot in front of the other. Put one show behind the next, build on it, grow from it. All of us get better. We're all here growing together. We're a really close group here. The great thing that Hunter started here a long time ago was the culture here. It's the thing that I fell in love with. And as all this continues to evolve, that's the biggest thing I want to cultivate is the closeness. And again, all of us learning together, getting better. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's got the right answer every single time. We're all going to try stuff. We're going to throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Some things aren't going to work. Some things are. We're all going to learn and grow together. And again, hopefully get better as all this goes on. I don't know what identity that makes us. I got to be honest. I just want it to be NXT. I want it to be the developmental brand that continues to grow superstars, continue to, again, evolve talent and help them. Again, it sounds silly, but I want them all to look back on a career like I had. I guess that, to me, that's the best gift that I feel like that I can give any of these men and women that come through here. Very fortunate to be 57 and look back on a bunch of stuff that I thought was really cool. And now I get all these young men and women coming in here looking to do the same stuff. That's why I get all personally involved in it, because I don't want to screw that up. To me, that is putting a great deal of responsibility in my hands, the hands of Matt Bloom, my creative team, everybody here at NXT. I want them to take that seriously because I don't want us to screw it up. This is their livelihood. This is their hopes and dreams. And that's what I want this NXT to be, is all of us, working our tails off to make sure we do that. And if we don't, I'm not, again, I'm the one that needs to get hit by the bus. And I have no problem with that, but I want us to help these talent. I want it to grow, and I want them to enjoy themselves in the process and be proud of what they've done here. I don't know if that's an answer, man, but that's the best one I got.
Let's do one more, and then we'll call it a night.
Am I wearing on you?
No.
To Adam.
No, we can go all night if you want. You gotta go to sleep.
I don't sleep anymore. They aged me 10 years tonight. I can't take the anxiety watching these kids go through that stuff.
All right, we'll do one more, operator, and then we'll call it a night.
Okay, thank you. We'll take our next question from Jim Barcelone from Miami Herald.
Well, first of all, good job, Spielberg, on a great show. So, hey, from that standpoint of production and all, did things go as planned as far as timing for the matches and just getting all the segments and everything in? How did it go for you and the team?
I think it went well. Look, so tonight we tried, we our Havocs and takeovers and premium live events and stuff like that. We usually do 5 matches. Tonight we were bold, and because we had so many good stories going in, we wanted to try 6. And so I don't know. I think it went really well. That's something the team and I will go over, but I think everything went really well. Nothing sort of overstayed its welcome. We'd like to try to hit personally. I'd love to be able to. I think that 2.5 hours, 2:45 is our sweet spot. And so we might have missed that by a titch tonight, which makes me feel like, we need to, I don't know, that's on us. Something we need to reconsider and go back and see if we just go to the 5 again. But this was it's a really big theme show. It felt like, with the sort of cinematic match in there, it worked. But look, we can, we will. I got news for you. Nobody beats themselves up more than we do when we're done with these nights. So we'll definitely go back and look at that. But no, everything went on time. And look, I guess that's one of the things you guys tell me. If you felt like it was a little long, let us know. And like I said, I wouldn't blame you if you did. We're getting close to 3 hours. We don't want to quite go that long, I think. But this was a really big one for us. We had a lot of really important matches on there. So this is one of those ones where you try to swing for the fence and, I don't know, see what y'all give us. You know what I mean? I'll take a stand-up triple, but if it's less than that, I don't know. You guys tell me.
Well, thank you. And that Kemp ambulance leaving and Mandy and Alba coming, transition to their match was awesome. Thank you.
Well, we cut him off. I think he was going to give us a compliment on that transition, that it was cool. And once again, that's to Johnny Russo. I'd love to take credit for that one, too. About throwing Johnny under the ambulance on that one. You don't want your name mentioned? Is that it? I'm not good at this stuff. Nobody's ever going to do these things again. That'll learn you.
All right, well, with that, we'll wrap up tonight's call. I'll turn it over to Shawn for a few more closing comments, and then we'll call it a night.
Well, again, if nothing else, I hope these things are a little bit fun and a little bit, relaxing. Because I don't think I'm ever going to get the corporate talk down. It just isn't going to happen. Mag wheels on a dump truck, folks. I don't have to tell you. So, I don't know. Again, once again, I'll take the feedback, guys. I just thank y'all for doing this. Look, continue to help me get better. All of us get better at this. And again, I thought it was a fantastic show. I'm very proud of our talent. I appreciate you guys doing this with us. I don't know. I guess that's it, man. And I guess I should, I'm getting a note here that says I need to plug Deadline, our next premium live event. If you guys, when you put it in your article, it's a premium live event on December 10th. Okay, when you put it in your article, make it sound like I said it more smooth, like you smoothly transitioned in this seamless promotional plug for our next premium live event, as opposed to stumbling and bumbling like I did. All right, and hopefully by the next one, I'll have all my notes and everything done, and I'll get better at this, but it's highly unlikely.
And with that...
Is that it, Dave? Is that too much? Too much? Okay, fair enough.
And with that, we got 2 words for you.
Yeah.
Good night.
That does conclude tonight's conference. Thank you for your participation, and you may now disconnect.